Jim Davidson confronts Rishi Sunak live, "You've forgotten real Britain." You're not going to believe what just happened on live television. While politicians were busy rehearsing their next campaign slogans and spinning half-baked policies, one man who isn't a politician cut straight through the noise. And it wasn't just a jab. It was a direct hit on live air aimed straight at Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Because last night, during a broadcast many thought would be another polite political segment, Jim Davidson, the no-nonsense comedian known for saying what others won't look the Prime Minister in the eye, and said, "You've lost touch with real Britain." And the silence that followed, you could feel it across the country. The segment took place during a late-night talk show hosted on GB News, a platform where political debate often collides with cultural commentary. Sunak, appearing via video link to promote his new era of reform message, was midway through discussing economic growth and national unity, when Davidson, sitting across from the panel, cut in. "Sorry, Prime Minister, but do you even see what's happening on the ground? Go walk down any high street. People are struggling. They're angry. And all they hear from you is that things are getting better." He didn't stop there. Davidson went on to question rising food prices, the spiraling cost of energy, the spike in youth crime, and what he called the London bubble mindset dominating politics. And then came the moment, the one now going viral. "You're talking to us from a studio in Westminster. I've just come from Birmingham. You wouldn't last 5 minutes trying to raise a family there right now." Even the host seemed caught off guard, blinking, before giving a soft chuckle and saying, "Well, I guess we're cutting through the talking points tonight." And while Sunak maintained his composure, calmly defending his record on inflation and crime, the mood had already shifted. Because this wasn't just a debate. It was a gut punch from someone many consider a voice for the working class. Within minutes, clips of the exchange were flying across X, Facebook, and TikTok. One tweet that's already hit 1 million views says, "When comedians speak more truth than Parliament, you know we're in trouble." Another post read, "Jim Davidson just said what half the country is thinking. We're tired of being told everything's fine when it clearly isn't." Even critics of Davidson, who don't always align with his views, admitted the moment resonated. One journalist wrote, "You don't have to agree with everything Davidson says to understand why this struck a nerve. There's a growing sense of disconnect between the people and those in power." This isn't just about Jim Davidson versus Rishi Sunak. It's about the widening gap between Westminster rhetoric and real-world reality. Rishi Sunak has tried to rebrand the Conservative Party tech-forward, calm, competent. But as inflation still grips households, housing remains out of reach, and NHS waiting times stretch even longer, that carefully crafted message is being torn to shreds by everyday frustration. And when someone like Davidson, who isn't bound by party loyalty, calls it out on national TV, it lands in a way a backbench MP never could. One former Tory advisor told a local outlet, "Sunak doesn't know how to handle this kind of direct challenge. The man's used to the city, to PowerPoint decks. Not a bloke from Essex telling him to get real." We took a look at public forums and comment sections after the broadcast. Here's just a sample of what people were saying. "Sunak's smart, but smart doesn't help when my gas bills doubled." "Jim spoke for every mum and dad who's had to skip meals this year. They say, we're all in this together, but only one side keeps getting richer." Even more telling, people weren't talking about policy specifics, they were talking about tone, honesty, and connection. That emotional currency is what wins or loses elections. It's too early for official polls to reflect the fallout, but insiders say this moment could have real impact, particularly in swing seats across the Midlands, northern towns, and coastal communities. One Labour strategist told The Guardian, "This is exactly the energy we're hoping continues people speaking their truth. Because when that happens, the Tories have no answer." But even inside Conservative circles, alarm bells are ringing. A leaked WhatsApp message from a Tory councillor read, "He made us look out of touch. That's the part that'll stick." So here we are, in a political climate where most people have tuned out Parliament and stopped believing press briefings. It took a comedian blunt, flawed, and unfiltered to say out loud what millions are quietly thinking. You've forgotten real Britain. Now the question is, will Rishi Sunak listen or dismiss it as another media moment? Because one thing's for sure, This wasn't just a viral soundbite. It was a warning shot. And if those in power keep ignoring it, the next election won't just be about policies. It'll be about who still hears the people. And right now, Davidson might be hearing them louder than the Prime Minister himself. Stay informed.